Hello everyone, this is part 13 of What If Naruto Learned the Secret of Shadow Clone, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Naruto found himself multitasking today. Jacket and shirt off as he performed handstand push-ups, he read from an Uzumaki scroll that would hopefully help him with the curse seal. Today found them somewhere in the land of stone while they searched for Orochimaru's northern base. It had been a month since they had been in Rice, this search taking them much longer because it had been a long time since the girls had been here and they were trying to keep a low profile through this specific country. Anyone with blonde hair here was likely to attract the wrong attention. Focusing a bit, Naruto sees that the scrolls keep relating back to natural chakra and the energy of all living things. Well, it wasn't like he could talk to animals. Wait, yes he could. Hinata, Karen, and Tayuya looked up from where Naruto whooped and jumped to his feet. They were high up on a mountainside and away from prying eyes in a cave, still however forced to eat a meal of dried ration bars and water. Couldn't risk the fire after all. Watching Naruto well up chakra and perform several seals, he summoned a toad not much higher than his knee. Hey Appa. Naruto my boy. It's been so long. Glad to see you're doing okay. Jiraiya boy has had us worried about you. I'm sure he'd love to know you're okay. Pa didn't know what had happened between Naruto and the leaf and Naruto would have to explain that soon. For now you can tell him I'm fine and just doing my best out here. But please don't tell him where I am. There's a lot going on right now. Naruto explains most of the drama surrounding the departure from the Leaf Village. Pa however waves it all away. You're our summoner boy, not the village itself. You ask us to keep you secret and safe, we'll keep you secret and safe. Now, why did you summon me today? I'm sure it wasn't just to catch up or introduce me to the lovely girls behind ya ? Wiggling his bushy eyebrows, he got a blush out of the boy at least. No. I'm actually here because I'm trying to figure out this seal. It has to deal with nature chakra and I can't understand it. Looking the seal over, Pa nods slowly. Nature chakra is the chakra of the world around us. There is energy everywhere Naruto my boy. Even here in this stone there is life. And if you steady yourself, still your mind enough, you can listen to its flow. You can ask of it, and receive a bit of its might in return. Nature training is a difficult life goal. Jiraiya himself is only partially there himself. We had a hunch you one day might be interested in training as a sage as well, but that might still be a few years yet away. Naruto thought about that one. What benefit do you get from using nature chakra ? All sorts of things, increased speed and durability. Reflexes and mental processing in general. Everything about you improves dramatically. Never mind your ability to attune yourself with nature itself. So that's what the curse seal does. It's forcefully pulling chakra from nature and converting it for use by the person it's been applied to. Pa's eyes went wide. This has been applied onto someone ? Did you do this ? He almost sounded offended. He might be, Naruto figured. Not me. Orochimaru's work. Naruto however points to another section, the part that actively tired to fight him. This however I really can't figure out. It's storing something, but I don't know what. Pa looked over the seal, age and wisdom puzzling out the language of it before turning and spitting on the ground. That fool Orochimaru, just how far was he willing to go ? That's some nasty work there boyo. Figure it out ? Yes. Dark work that. It houses a portion of Orochimaru's soul. If he were to die within range of this, he could resurrect himself and cheat death through this seal. Pa pointed a webbed hand towards another section of the seal. Here there's a chakra node, you'll have to remove it first, and then you can remove his soul from the seal. The rest of the seal should remain intact. Naruto nodded, working out just what he needed to do from there. Thanks Pa. I appreciate it. No thanks needed Naruto. Helping you rid the world of any darkness is thanks enough. Though we might need to summon Ma soon, she'd like to see you as well. Getting a smile and nod from the boy, the elder toad returned home. Hinata finally walked over, watching quietly as Naruto began working on the next counter seal and explaining his work as he went. She was still working on catching up with sealing techniques herself, but she was able to follow along mostly. Naruto addressed Tayuya without looking up. Looks like we'll be able to remove the last negative piece of the seal soon. But most likely it'll be pretty painful. I don't know how Orochimaru figured out how to split his soul, but I'm sure it'll try to fight this. I don't care, I don't want any part of that bastard near me if I can help it. It needs to go. Tayuya rubbed her arms furiously. If she didn't know she'd be getting it removed, she'd be better off never knowing a piece of the bastard was inside of her. Just gross. Naruto worked silently, missing as the sun began to set and reduce the daylight. He didn't have much time for today, but he figured he had enough left for the attempt. Karen, can you roll out a mat? And Tayuya, same as before, I need access to the seal. Both girls moved to obey while Naruto finished up his practice work on the scroll and activated it. There was a bright green flash of light, before the seal began to dissolve and change. The fake section holding Orochi's soul wilted before disappearing and the entire seal shrunk down until there was an Uzumaki swirl in the middle of the paper. Satisfied, he turned to see Tayuya laying down and waiting, shirt and sports bra again off to the side and folded neatly. Again, this is going to hurt. Tayuya shook her head, don't care, needs to happen like yesterday. Hinata unsealed several lanterns and began to light them, while Karen stood and went to the cave entrance. Placing her hands on the ground, she willed a wall of rock to form up and cover the entrance completely. Satisfied, she turned back to the others who had odd shadows cast on them from the lanterns Hinata was placing around their camp. Naruto was smiling at her, for the sound. She felt the need to say it out loud. Thanks, Karen. Turning back and again taking a seat on her legs in case he had to hold her down, Naruto began drawing the necessary seals. He took much longer this time to prepare them, wanting to make sure that he didn't mess this up. This was Tayuya after all, not just some paper. God, that tickles. Tayuya joked with him while she nearly vibrated with anticipation. This was it, the last link between her and Orochimaru. She'd be free, really and truly free. Naruto grinned as he continued to work. Yeah, well, try not to squirm, you don't want to know just what the wrong line could do to ya. Finishing up, he turned to Hinata and Karen. Don't intervene. If you touch either of us it could get messy. Hinata had learned enough to know not to interfere. Karen as well just nodded and trusted him that he knew what he was doing. Both girls took a seat on the opposite side of their unsealed supplies and waited. Naruto however mentally knocked to awaken Kurama. I need to make sure you don't inject any chakra towards me for the next few minutes. Huh. Sealing arts, how dreadful. Yeah, could understand why you hate them, but I'm trying to help my clan here. Understood, no chakra. Feeling the ancient being slip away, Naruto nodded and finished up. Coating his hands in chakra he looked over to Tayuya, ready ? Let's do it. Gritting her teeth, she tried to brace herself. The fact that he felt the need to remind her several times that this was going to hurt had her believing this was going to be far worse than last time. Feeling his hands come into contact with her skin, there was a moment of warmth she associated with him before it felt like literal fire was poured on her back and neck. Trembling and holding back a scream she could feel something shift inside of her. Naruto however was having to pump a massive amount of chakra into his seals in order to counteract Orochimaru. Even just a portion of him was fighting back terribly. Naruto had learned over the last few months himself and adjusting the seal with just his chakra, he watched the portion that was Orochimaru sizzle and burn away in green fire. Watching the rest of the seal twist and form into the Uzumaki spiral that was now just over one of her chakra gates, Naruto was satisfied. It was the gate of life, if Naruto remembered correctly. Pulling his hands away as the girl under him trembled and shook, he again went about with aftercare, unsealing and applying the healing cream into her back. Well, congratulations Tayuya, you're curse seal free. You'll have to learn to use the new seal properly, but no chance of Orochimaru taking control of you now. Taking great care to work softly, Naruto himself had to take a deep breath to steady himself. That was a lot of chakra he just burned through after all. Karen was smiling with just a hint of tears in her eyes. To think that they would finally come to a point that Tayuya would be free of Orochimaru for good. She never said it, but she knew the older girl most of all wanted her freedom from that stain on her heart. Only thing better than this would be if they could kill Orochimaru himself. Hinata breathed a sigh of relief, happy that they were able to help Tayuya finally. Now if they could just find this northern base they could relax properly for a little while. Hopefully. Naruto was a workaholic. Finishing up and sealing his materials away, the shirtless boy shuffled off to the side with a groan. That was a workout. But we learned something new today, so there's that bonus. In front of him Tayuya sat up slowly, facing away from him. Everything feel alright Tayuya ? She seemed to be moving stiffly. Tayuya however turned and pounced on him, arms wide. Crashing into him and sending them both to the floor, she locked him in with a deep kiss that sent his mind far away. She however couldn't think of anything else other than the fact that she was free. No more specter of Orochimaru at her neck. No more thoughts of him just beyond the next bend or waiting for her at the next base to capture her. She was free to be herself, do what she wanted, whenever she wanted. And it was all thanks to Naruto. Feeling tongue twist with his own, Naruto had the presence of mind to keep his hands far away from the softness that was against his chest. Well, all softness except for 2 hard points that he instantly tried not to focus on. This wouldn't end well. Tayuya pulled away and gasping for air, she was all smiles, thank you. Ah, of course Tayuya. I'd do it all again. Secretly he knew if that his reward was an armful of half-naked kunoichi he'd do it all again in a heartbeat. No he wasn't a pervert, no he wouldn't answer why not. Tayuya however finally remembered that she was in fact still half-naked. She however didn't care. She'd let him take her right there if he wanted, Karen and Hinata there or not. He gave her freedom. Hearing the others giggle at her though, she turned and shuffled for her clothes, was happy. Karen smirked, we could tell. Hinata was hiding a giggle behind her hand, I think you broke Naruto. He's not moving. Naruto himself figured that he was not moving because his body was vibrating. Or at least it felt like it was. Pretty girls tackling you and kissing you was a new thing. So much pink, I'm happy that you're happy Tayuya. Dressing and fighting down a blush, she turned away, well, thanks to you I'm going to be happy for a long time. Now all that's left is to put some real hurt on the snake dirt bag. Everyone could agree with that. Though she did have to put up with Hinata and Karen teasing her for the rest of the night. Oh well, she'd start gloating that she not only got a kiss out of the boy first, but felt a not so little something that at least showed he paid attention to them. She'd have to have a chat with all the girls later for sure. Kiyuki was tired but still focused. The day was coming to a close, sun beginning to set and that meant her day was almost over. In her hand she had a letter from the Rice Daimyo, a new one apparently. They detailed that while they would consider an economic and possible military alliance, Spring would need a good show of faith first. Rice had a bandit and gang problem that needed rooting out. If Spring could help, that would go a lot way towards opening talks. Penning a letter that expressed that Spring would be sending someone soon to do just that, she paused as Ino walked through her door. Dressed more in Naruto's colors now, a black and orange skirt and black tank top, the blonde had a frown as another black-haired girl dressed in a somewhat worn dark kimono followed behind her. Ino, to what do I owe the pleasure ? Got a refugee, but she's got a letter for the Uzumaki specifically apparently, thinks they're here. Thought you'd want to talk to her. Ino didn't know this girl, but everything about her was off. Too stiff, even for a refugee she barely talked. Tone was so monotone. She was like a robot. The girl comes before the desk and bows deeply as Ino takes up a position behind and to Kiyuki's left. Stating she introduces herself, my name is Kyohime Bohate. My clan was once retainers of the Uzumaki clan. We were wiped out during a border skirmish but my father and mother always spoke on how much we wished we could have returned to the service of the Uzumaki clan. After hearing rumors about the Uzumaki possibly settling here in the north, I just had to come and try to see for myself. Taking out and producing a small scroll with an Uzumaki seal, she attempts to present it to Kiyuki who declines. Kiyuki's own personal bullshit radar was going crazy as well. Something was off with the dead stare girl. While you were correct that the Uzumaki were here, they are not now. I may be able to direct you in another direction. Is there a chance they may return ? Life makes all things possible. Then I wish to stay. It has been a life's mission of my clan to find the Uzumaki again since the purge. I have hope we may meet if I stay somewhere familiar. Again, tone barely changing. Something was putting off Kiyuki and Ino, something fierce. However, if this girl was after the Uzumakis for something ill, it was better to keep an eye on her. Somewhere they could control. This could be a good test. Turning slightly, Kiyuki addresses Ino, why don't we set Miss Bohate up with the aid station? If the Uzumaki do return, we'll be able to find her easier from there. Ino nods and motions for the girl to follow her, and she does so, putting the scroll away in a fold of her kimono. Turning back to her work and finishing up her letter to the rice daimyo, it was maybe another 20 minutes before Ino returned to the office, closing the door behind her so they could talk. You feel it? Kiyuki leaned back in her chair. Oh yeah, something is way off with that girl. She never actually looked at either of us. Always at the wall or just past our head. Ino could pick up on a lot of subtle cues, life working with psychology paying off. Kiyuki nodded. We'll need Naruto to confirm if the scroll she brought with her was the real thing or not. But we'll make sure to let him know our thoughts about her. Turning to look out her window, lights coming on as night descended on spring. In the distance, the sleepy town was slowly becoming much larger. Their flow of refugees and immigrants had increased. She could only imagine what Tazuna was dealing with. How goes construction? Ino was curious about it, not having the time recently to check on much more than the aid station. Sitting on the edge of the desk, she pulled a nail file from somewhere and set about perfecting her look. Kiyuki shrugged. The tunnel has made significant progress. My engineers tell me we should make landfall in a zoo within a year's time. That will start our true partnership in full when we can send supplies and people back and forth. Kiyuki was looking forward to it. More so to a day when they didn't have to hide something like this. When the ninja way wasn't so destructive. Ino was having similar thoughts. To think we've already come so far. If only the rest of the nations could see this. People from all walks of life were getting along here. It wasn't perfect, sure, but people were learning. Understanding each other. Their shared hardships and pain uniting them. Now if they could just get past needing that shared pain in order to talk to one another. Hearing another knock at the door, Ino took her position at Kiyuki's flank again. Still time to work, it seemed. In Konoha, at a certain training ground, what was left of Team 7 was meeting for a not-so-fun occasion. Kakashi was standing before a visibly irate Sakura and a bored-looking Sasuke, while next to him was a oddly smiling pale boy. Sighing, the sensei knew this wasn't going to be received well, as you know, due to Naruto's leave, we're short a member. Sai has been added to the Team 7 roster in the meantime. A full team is important and will allow us to take full missions again. That also includes missions outside of the village. Hopefully they got the message there. Sasuke sighed but nodded, a little weird looking, but I get it. We aren't Chunin yet, so we can't run missions with just us. He however would be working to ditch this guy as soon as possible. Sakura shrugged with her hands on her hips, medical pouch bouncing with her movements. Yeah, you need some sun, but we'll get you up to speed soon enough. Great, they'd have to do team building exercises again. She shuddered at the memories. Sai looked between Sakura and Sasuke before turning to Kakashi and pointing at the pink and red themed girl. I thought you said you had a girl member of the team? Instantly hating the boy, Sakura took an ominous step forward. What was that? Sai, oblivious to the danger he was in, continued to point at her. You're so flat, I just assumed you were a boy. Maybe I'll call you Washboard from now on. Oh dear. Did this pale-skinned loser just say she was flat? He was insulting her after knowing her for less than a minute. Did he have a death wish? Flat was just fine. Sasuke loved her mini tots. Losing it, she went straight to trying to pound the boy's face in. Hoping away with a bewildered look on his face, Kakashi and Sasuke sighed. Should we save him? Sasuke watched his girlfriend try to pound the boy, craters being left in her wake. I think this'll be a good team bonding exercise. Why don't you go help her? I smiling, the older ninja waited for the boy to move. I don't have a choice, do I? Twin kunai appeared in Kakashi's hands. I'm going. Kakashi called out at the trio, this will be good team bonding. Try not to kill each other. I hate paperwork. Pulling out his book, he thought over about this appointment. Tsunade sure didn't look happy about it. Maybe he was a Danzo plant. Kami knew that Old Hawk had the resources. But why their team ? Unless he too thought that they knew where Naruto was. Remembering Naruto's warning, Kakashi vowed to keep an eye on Sai for the time being. Watching the fight, Sai rolls over a charge from Sakura only to be forced into blocking a kick from Sasuke that launched him away and into a roll. Smiling, the boy stands. You have some skill, maybe I won't name you less like I first wanted to. You seemed so passive before. He missed Sasuke's face fault. Sakura, however, is blushing as she continues to try to pound the tactless boy. Sasuke's is none of your business. It's good sized, thank you very much. Missing the boy and creating another crater, she pauses as she realizes just what she said aloud. Oh boy. Damn it, hold still so I can hit you. Launching forward again with a frantic shunshin, the fight was on again. Kakashi had them practicing for hours, both against each other and against him. Eventually, as the noon sun begins to fall and fade, he calls it quits, happy that Sasuke and Sakura are able to put their mistrust aside for now. He could see that they too didn't feel right about this, but that there was nothing they could do about it. Everyone but him groaning on the ground, Kakashi smiled, that's it for today. Great job everyone. Only he could be so peppy after trying to kill children. Sakura, however, just dragged herself to her feet, walking off towards the hospital. Shizune and Tsunade will kill me if I don't get to practice on time. Later, Sasuke. Waving at the boy, she shook herself and jogged away. Hopefully she could shower there. Sasuke has much of the same plan, telling Kakashi that he'll be training some more for a while before heading home. Though he promised not to overdo it. He wasn't Naruto after all. Not like he could spam mountains of clones and not die. Kakashi watches Sai leave on his own without a word. He was sure that there was more there, but he couldn't come out and ask the kid if he worked for Danzo now. Could he ? He could keep an eye on him at least and hopefully catch him before he did anything to out of line. The ninja world was full of peril, it seemed. Now, back to his book and to see what happened to those twins. Back in Earth Country the next day around noon finds Naruto and a tired group of girls on a ridge overlooking the northern sound base. Happy and marking the location with a Hiraishin tag hidden under an outcrop of rock, Naruto turns to the others. I did promise we would just mark it and leave for a break for now. Are you sure you don't wanna trash the place ? Naruto himself was tired and ready for a break. Even Kurama was grumbling. Warm baths are nice. No arguments there. Hinata is the one to come forward, placing hands on both of his shoulders and drawing him close. Naruto, please. We need rest, you need rest, we all need a bath. We will come back and ransack this base no sooner than a week. Drawing even closer somehow, shadows covering her face, Naruto began to sweat. I have not had a warm bath in what feels like a month. I need this. Naruto nodded quickly, got it. Break sounds good. Taking a break is perfect. All three girls holding him, they flashed away without alerting the sound. Back in spring, the group relaxes as they see the comforting walls of the spring daimyo mansion. Already within the usual sitting room where the Hiraishin tag was placed, the only other occupant to the room is Ino, who looks up with surprise. Welcome back everyone. She was all smiles as she motions to the large spread of food on the table. Hope you're hungry. Karen, however, wanted nothing more than to see a soft bed. She'd eat later. For sure. Later. After sleeping for like 12 hours. Tayuya isn't having it, pushing the girl herself out the door and towards the baths. You need a bath first, then food, then bed. But nope, you don't wanna sleep dirty. Come on, we'll go together and I'll wash your back. Ugh. They were soon gone and around a corner. Hinata made to follow them. She smelled badly and wanted a bath herself. She was stopped, however, by Naruto grabbing her hand. Blushing and caught off guard, she turned back to him. What's up, Naruto ? Naruto was turning to Ino as well. Can I, talk to both of you actually ? After all this time, he couldn't believe that this had taken him so long to get around to. But this was a minor step he should have gotten to. Ino bounced up and walked to join him, her and Hinata side by side. Sure thing, Naruto. What's up ? She didn't comment on him holding Hinata's hand just yet. Naruto took a real deep breath for this one. These girls had left the village with him when they didn't have to. They could have stayed, lived their lives out. But they didn't, choosing to come with him. He could trust them with his life, he knew that without a doubt. He knew the feelings he had grown for them weren't going away as well. Stepping back so he could focus on both of them, he took that step. You both. You've supported me for so long now. Shown me what it means to actually be cared for and to care for someone else. I wanted to come out and say that. Well, Ino's eyes were shining while Hinata was beginning to blush. What the hell gave them the right to be so damned pretty ? I've had feelings for you both for so long. I love you. I know that. You know, I'm supposed to choose one and it's hard. You're both so important to me and you each have your own charms and importance that's unique and, a dainty well-manicured finger was holding his lips closed. Ino was smirking, about time you confessed, Whiskers. We've been waiting for what feels like forever. Hinata is still a blushing mess but nods all the same. We've both liked you for a long time. It grew to love long ago. We've also talked about your and our situation. It was something actually I meant to bring up that seems like a moot point now. Seeing both of her friends' questioning looks, she shrugged. In the village I had been researching the Clan Restoration Act. I assumed that Naruto would be eligible and that we would be able to share. Ino herself began to chuckle. Oh, if your team could see their cute and sweet little Hinata. You were already planning on sharing that far back ? I knew it was a possibility, that's all. I love Naruto. If that meant sharing a piece of him, I would be okay with that. Ino shrugged, turning to the silent and shocked other blonde. Well, I think you are a loyal, ambitious, living breathing force of nature. And I want to be at your side through it all. Grinning, she pointed dramatically at the boy. So you're just going to have to accept us one day as your head wives. Any other flushinges you try to pick up go through us first. Hinata nodded. Whether it's just us or if you decide to build a true harem to rebuild your clan, you must be considerate of us first and foremost. Naruto could not believe what was happening. He hadn't even considered anyone else truly. His heart was set on the two girls in front of him. Yes, he knew Tayuya had some type of feelings for him, and he couldn't really tell if Karen liked him as a sibling or what. He would protect this happiness he had found, right here in this room more than anything. You got it. I'll protect you both with everything I am for the rest of our lives, that's a promise. Ino leaned forward, now a blush forming on her face. Be careful, Whiskers. Placing a soft kiss on his lips, she enjoyed his warmth and softness before pulling away. Making a promise like that is important. Hinata stepped forward next, she too leaning up and kissing the boy. Hands bunching into his shirt, she was smiling as she eventually pulled away. We'll be here as long as you are, Naruto. She would fight just as hard as he would. She would protect this happiness she had found. Giggling, Ino turned the conversation from relationships for now, something important having come up after all. As much fun as I wanna have, however, we had a visitor looking for you. Seeing them both look at her, Ino continued, some girl named Kyohime Bohate. Name ring a bell to anyone ? Seeing both of them shake their heads, Ino sighed, she's in the aid station waiting. But something about her seems off. More than just the fact that she has at least Chunin level chakra levels. The chakra detection seals you placed around the man are working like a charm, by the way. Naruto nodded. Well, that's a relief. We're going to have to figure out who she is. Looking around the room, he eyes the table in front of one of the couches. I think I can set something up for an interview. Maybe tomorrow morning ? Ino nods. Sure thing. I'll bring her in the morning. Hinata finally grabs both of them and begins to walk towards the hall. She was filthy and someone would be scrubbing her back. That's it, it's time to go. I'm dirty, Naruto is dirty, it's time for a bath. All of us ? Want to fight me on that ? Deadly glare was turned up full force. Naruto and Ino shook their heads. No ma'am. Neither would admit to the shorter Hyuga scaring them. Nope, not a bit. They just enjoyed the warmth of having finally figured out. More could and would come later. For now they could share a bath and relax after a mission well done. Soon sleep, all in their separate rooms, would be exactly what they all needed to finish out a full day. The next morning the group is getting ready to meet up with the mystery girl who had been looking for the Uzumaki. Hinata, Karen and Tayuya watched while Naruto inscribed several seal tags underneath the wooden low table between two of the couches facing each other. 5 tags written and placed quickly. Naruto applied some chakra and the array began to glow a light green color. Nodding, Naruto flipped the table over and placed it down before sitting on a couch with Hinata on one side of him while behind them stood Karen and Tayuya, who had been watching with interested looks on their faces. What was that seal for ? Karen recognized some of the work but not all of it. Looked like something for an area genjutsu. It's to help with our interrogation. Naruto answered quickly while he heard footsteps coming their way. Tayuya nodded. Should probably let you handle it then, we'll be back up just in case. Naruto grinned, sure thing. From the doorway Ino walked in followed by the black-haired and regal-looking Kyohime. Naruto noted that she was in fact fairly pale, but her build definitely jumped out to him as ninja. He could see why the others flagged her as suspicious. Watching Ino motion for her to sit across from them before she herself sat on Naruto's other side, they got this underway. So Kyohime, I was told you've been looking for us, that right ? Kyohime nodded. The Bohate clan had served the Uzumaki clan as retainers for years, but we were left on our own after the purge to drift the nations. It had always been a goal of ours to gather as many of the Uzumaki as we could find and continue our work serving them. The Uzumaki clan are powerful, deserving of the right to lead others. I wish to see your clan return to its glory. Reaching into her robes, she removed and holds out the Uzumaki scroll given to her. Naruto takes it with a nod, looking it over and confirmed it was in fact a real Uzumaki scroll. Opening it and taking a peek inside, he confirmed that it was more notes, something about chakra chains. Stowing any ideas for later, he rolled the scroll back up and handed it back to Karen. Said girl sealed it away in a pouch at the small of her back. Naruto however focused on the girl in front of him. Leaning forward and quietly making a seal unnoticed at his side, he fully activated the seal on the table. So tell me, who sent you to find us ? Opening her mouth to deny anyone sent her, Kyohime suddenly found she couldn't answer. In fact, she did want to answer, but the seal applied to her tongue would not allow her. Looking up to Naruto in a panic, she watched as he sighed. Do you really want to be an Uzumaki retainer ? Again she seems to struggle to answer, before her mouth finally opens, no. I was only ordered to. Now they were making progress. They couldn't learn who sent her, but at least we confirm she was ordered by someone. Were you ordered to kill us ? No, only to seduce and bend you to my will. Or bear your children and return them too. Again her voice suddenly cut off, her body giving a full shudder. Naruto sighs, go figure someone wanted to try and trick him. Again, you're within range of a seal that forces anyone within its range to tell the truth. There is also a minor chakra restriction ability, so you'll have a hard time moving as well. However, something seems to be interfering with your ability to answer me on some things. Do you have seals placed on you ? The girl nods. Do they protect the person you serve ? Another nod. Will they kill you if you happen to force yourself to talk anyway ? One last nod, which caused the girls behind him to flinch. Pulling out a suppression seal, Naruto looked her in the eye. I'm going to have to knock you out. I won't kill you. I will ask, did you want any of this to happen to you ? She quickly shook her head, tears leaking from emotionless eyes. Tayuya is gripping the couch. It's a lot like an enslavement seal. But it doesn't seem like Orochimaru, at least. Naruto reaches forward to put the seal on her forehead while maintaining eye contact. If you want freedom from this, your own life back, I can help. But you have to want it. Waiting for something, anything, he wasn't disappointed. Kyohime nods very slowly with trembling lips, the only emotion to cross her face this entire time. Then I'll help you. Placing the seal on her forehead, the girl was unconscious and laid out on the couch. Okay, you can come get her. Everyone watched as 3 snow nin hustled inside to grab the girl and pick her up. Be gentle with her, okay ? She'll be asleep as long as that tag is on. One nin had her by the legs while the other had her by her shoulders. The last paid direct attention to Naruto. Yes sir. The unburdened nin saluting him, the 3 ninja hustled back out into the hall and towards the basement. Tayuya leans forward now while everyone else seems to release the breath they were holding. So, was that bit about the truth seal a real thing ? Naruto nods. Yeah, takes a minute to start up and take down, but it's effective. Works on everyone within a certain range. Tayuya tilts her head this way and that while thinking, huh. So then, She leans forward towards him just a tad. Who's a bigger question mark, Ino's, Hinata's, or mine question mark, the grin on her face stretched from ear to ear. Blushing up a storm, he's unable to stop himself, Hinata's for sure. You and Ino are close, but I haven't seen Ino's like yours. Panicking and lunging for the table, he's blindsided by Ino tackling him to the ground while laughing. Behind him Tayuya is cackling while Hinata is blushing. Karen is holding a finger to her temple while shaking her head. Ino however is going to get every second that she can out of this. So what do you like about my body, huh Naruto question mark. You have great legs, your eyes are super pretty. The extra food and real workouts have done wonders for your figure. Especially your butt. Doing his best to struggle free, God this girl had gotten strong. Why? A hand covered his mouth to prevent him from asking a question. Ho ho. Do you have naughty thoughts about us question mark. Hand removed. Kami yes. Now, hand back. He'd get her back for this. One way or another. They were all traitors. Have you ever peeped on us question mark. This was fun. Hand removed again. No. Hand was back. Thrashing was doing him no good. Eventually Ino had him on his back and was straddling his hips. One hand holding his wrists together while the other was over his mouth. Damn earth chakra, must be how she was making herself stronger. Did you wanna question mark? Damn it yes. Ino, hand back in place, the boy was blushing up a storm. Kill him now. Karen started to walk forward, I think that's enough for now. Tayuya however was doing her best to catch her breath through her laughing, wait, one more. Hinata however beat her to it with a small grin in place on her face. Ino, how's Naruto's crotch feel question mark. Ino's eyes went wide, but she shouldn't force herself to stop, heavenly. Wait. About how big do you think it is question mark. Maybe little more than 20 centimeters. Hold on. Control out of her hands she turned back to Hinata who was smile while Tayuya was beginning to wheeze. Karen however, blushing and giggling, finally took pity and kicked the table over and removed one of the tags. Array broken, the seal was deactivated. That's enough fun for one day. She'd be keeping that seal set up in her brain however. Might prove useful one day. Ino looked down to Naruto while chuckling, relishing that she would have to get off of him now. Truce question mark. She removed his hand. I'm so getting you back for this. Remember who the prank king is. He was already forming plans. Ino was quick to jump off of him and make it behind the couch in order to put Karen between her and Naruto. You wouldn't hurt me. You love me. Never said I wouldn't prank you. Well I have a Karen shield, you love her too and wouldn't hurt either of us. Yeah I do, but I can wait. I have plenty of time. Karen however was blushing at the casual mention of the boy's feelings. Before anyone could say anything else or in Tayuya's case catch her breath, Kiyuki walks in through the door. Oh. Hello everyone. From the floor Naruto rolls to his feet and nods. Hey Kiyuki, what's up question mark. Kiyuki holds up a letter. We have an official request from the Rice Daimyo. In order to facilitate a potential alliance, we're being asked to help clean up the nation of bandits and rouge gangs. The Fuma clan has been omitted from the removal list. Looking over at the blushing and in Tayuya's and Hinata's cases, giggling group she raised an eyebrow. I missed something. Only learning some truths about Naruto some of us were curious about. Ino was still hunched behind the shorter Uzumaki girl. Naruto however is thinking it over. The girls wanted and deserved a break, but he also wanted time to start working on something. He could make up the difference though. I'd say give me a week and I'll take on Rice. I have some training I want everyone to go through. Kiyuki is curious about this. What's this training question mark. Naruto reached into his jacket into one of his inner seals and unsealed one of the Uzumaki masks, a red and blue kimono mask to be specific, and holding it up for everyone to see. Karen and myself haven't given ourselves enough time to go through all of the Uzumaki scrolls and books, but I finally let my clones run through them all repeatedly. I was able to pick up what each mask is for and I want everyone to become attuned to one of them that's closest to their style. Karen pouted, you got ahead of me, no fair. Naruto tossed the kimono mask to her, forcing her to catch it. I've built something of a library in my room, start going through it daily while I'm gone. That mask can create golem and give them life. I'm sure it can remove it as well which should allow you to practice to your heart's content. Hinata raised a hand. How many different masks are there, Naruto? Literally hundreds, but I was able to snag a few more with my clone's help. There are some that are like mass production types that give control of elements. Those are depicted as various Oni masks, colored for the element they control. Then I have a few sets of 3 Hanya masks that give specific abilities. Then there are a few specific masks which give unique control. Like the Kamenu, a white Onoman, an Okum, and last the Shinigami mask. He didn't unseal any of those masks, but he shrugged. I've got them in my room, so join me there after this and I'll sit everyone down and work you through them. Karen sighed as she looked down at the bestial mask in her hand. I'm guessing these are strictly emergency use masks? Something like that. I want this to be strictly between us. Not even a hint to anyone outside of this room for now. Everyone turned to Kiyuki, who wiggled a finger in her ear. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Something about Naruto being hung like a horse? That got everyone back to groaning or giggling depending on who it was. Naruto, however, shook his head. So once I get everyone up to speed on the masks and they start training, I can take on the rice mission after a quick detour through the next sound base. Does that sound okay? That's agreeable. I'll send a reply. You said 1 week, right? The young man nodded. Okay, I'll send a reply for 1 week. Nodding and turning away to go back to her duties, Kiyuki turned to Naruto. Make sure to stop by my office sometime later, okay? Ah, sure thing. Watching the woman leave, he turned back to the others. Guess this'll be the first time I split up from you, like ever, since we've come here. Tayuya nodded as she relaxed into the couch. This'll give us normal people a chance to relax while training and catching up with you. You stamina freak. Hinata nodded as well. Training would be good. I've been having some ideas myself I've wanted to try out. Karen said nothing, fascinated by the mask in her hand still. Ino, however, looked over Karen's shoulder. Any chance you might forgive me by the time you get back? Naruto grinned. You'll just have to wait and see, Ino. Some time alone in Rice would be good for him probably. He could play the hero, blow up bad guys, and just work through his own personal training for a while. What was the worst that could happen? A week to relax and train non-stop was something Naruto would always look forward to. Training with the remaining Uzumaki masks, being lazy with the women of his life, and learning everything he could from the Uzumaki scrolls. He could say that after a week, he could probably do a lot of damage all on his own to any nation on the continent if he tried. Which, considering his next 2 missions, he was somewhat going to do just that. Leaving his group in spring with instructions to train and look after Kiyuki, a few very hardened clones left just in case, he set off himself first to the northern sound base. He warned Kiyuki and Tsunami via clones that refugees would be coming in, but now here he sat, removing the Horatian tag from its hiding place and staring out over the base hidden in the rock wall. While not a sensor like Karen, he could tell that there were significant life forces present here, and after beginning his usual method, creating 100 hardened clones at a time and sending them off, he sat and waiting for the results to come in. In his mind, Kurama piped up. So you're challenging yourself for once? Noble. Something like that. I wanna make sure I can actually be just as much of a badass as I think I am. Do not misunderstand, I approve. You are my container, you must continue to be strong. Naruto thought over some of the research he had been doing this week. Finally making sense of not only nature chakra, but yin and yang balance. He had a hunch now why using Kurama's chakra would make him no nuts. We should look into how to get your other half of chakra from my dad. Do you truly think it will help? Well, half of you was ripped away, that can't have been pleasant. You should be allowed to be whole. Balance is important for anything living. Perhaps. You do not worry, I might try to take control? Nah. Even if you did, that'd do more to show who you are, not me. It's my choice to trust you, it's your choice to break it. Wisdom from you feels odd. Go back to being an explosion murder boy. That's more like it. Feeling the mental link simmer into the background, Naruto began to feel memories flow into his mind. It seemed Orochi had attempted to fortify this base slightly, but with Naruto that didn't mean anything. Sound Ninja were just barely above fodder for the most part, and the prisoners were being released with no problems. A good portion were Earth Country natives who wished to return home, which Naruto utilized a tag on the main road in order to drop them off with a wave and a smile. Just as many however wished to side with him, floating between Spring and Azu. However, a group of clones was lost in spectacular fashion and led to Naruto standing from his seated position and stretching. Guess it's time to see for myself. Making the ram hand seal and performing a shunshin, he appeared inside the base, walking along through dark halls while he listened in on shouting and his own clones' conversations with prisoners. His memories told of an orange-haired teen with the abilities to shift his body how he liked. Normally this might not be a problem, but his clones were being cautious. Ordered to offer leave to anyone not of the sound, this guy apparently wasn't sound but wasn't willing to talk unless it was the original. Naruto could put up with that. Kotohime had needed almost the same treatment. Coming upon a cell with its wall missing and rubble everywhere, Naruto was faced with said large orange-haired teen sitting on the ground with a large prison weight tied to his ankle. Sighing and spreading his hands out, Naruto voiced his opinion, "You know, we really don't have to fight. I'd personally rather not." Jugo had been stuck in this cell for a long time. While initially hoping Orochimaru could help him with this curse, he was only waiting because Kimimaro had promised someone would come to continue where he himself left off. With no one to help hold back his urges like the Bone Clan member Kimimaro, Jugo wouldn't leave this prison under his own power. "I cannot leave without someone being able to put me in check. Believe me, I'd rather not fight at all. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So let's not fight and talk it out." "No. Just when I thought this would be easy. Wanna explain why at least ? My body. Orochimaru was experimenting in the hopes that one day I might be cured. That has failed. Now I'm only being used to spread this curse to others, my lower copies. Okay, I'm with you so far. My own curse stays uncured. If you want me to talk with you further," here the teen began to vibrate and growl under his breath, "you'll have to subdue me." Now this was something Naruto could understand. Making a brace of clones with instructions, Naruto nodded, "Okay then, hope you're prepared." Lunging forward with a yell, Jugo was nearly foaming at the mouth as both arms transformed into wide oversized beer-like claws. "I hope you're prepared to die, maggot." He ignored the group of clones that rushed forward to tap him on various parts of his body. There was no damage, therefore no threat. At least, until he was smashed into the floor with what felt like the weight of the entire mountain resting on him. Ugh. Groaning, his transformation shifted to something with a lot more muscle mass. There was however still no movement from him and the crater he was in only grew slightly. Naruto however walked forward calmly with his eyes shining in the dark space. "Yeah, you aren't going anywhere. Which gives us plenty of time to talk." Struggling and trying to look up at the blonde, Jugo would not cower easily. "This will not hold me." Naruto shrugged and took a squat within striking range of Jugo. "Okay. Prove it." Naruto sat there and stared Jugo in the eyes. "You are fighting gravity. I put seals on you that I regularly use to train my body. The more you fight, the stronger they get." Watching Jugo fight to move with something akin to clinical detachment, Naruto nodded. "Wanna talk yet? Never. Jugo however was finding that it was beginning to get harder to breathe and altering his forms was not helping. Trying to push up only wasted energy. Naruto shook his head. "Look, I'm not going to waste time. I'm trying to save people. Build a new home for my clan and for the downtrodden people who continue to get stuck in these senseless wars. But I don't need you. I was mainly curious that you might be another long-lost Uzumaki, but I doubt that at this point." Making a hand sign and increasing the weight on his opponent, Naruto began to glare. "Don't test my patience anymore. What's your deal, or I'll blow you to pieces with the rest of this shitty place." The added weight finally seemed to knock Jugo out of his rage. The young man suddenly knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that this blonde before him would absolutely kill him and leave without a worry about him in the future. He was that far below him. It was exactly what he needed, someone who could control his urges. Form reverting back to normal and somehow the weight pressing down on him decreasing, Jugo explained. "My clan had the ability to pull in nature chakra that we could use in battle. This however meant during period where we did not battle regularly we would be hit occasionally with a rage we could not control. The trait was strongest in me. They call me Jugo of the Scales. Most of the time I'm very peaceful, but without warning I can be hit with an uncontrollable rage. Naruto hummed and thought about that. Sound familiar, Hakurama? Little monkey is probably being hit with negative emotions from natural sources and doesn't even realize it. Which means we might be able to design a filter for it. Why? Just blow him up and be done with it. Yeah, well, he seems to want to be peaceful. This anger thing is outside of his control. I can help. Well said, let me know if you need my chakra or assistance. Fading away mentally and allowing Naruto to focus completely again, the boy began unsealing sealing ink and a brush. So here's the deal, I'm pretty sure I can help you. After that you can decide what you want to do. Jugo raised his eyebrows as the weight lifting off of his body. Refusing to move, however, he voiced his question, why would you go so far for me? Naruto shrugged, like you admitted to me, you wanted to be peaceful, but I had to subdue you first. I have, now I'm going to help you with your problem. It's not like you want to kill me after all. Ripping the larger teen's shirt off, Naruto began to work a seal on his upper left shoulder. This won't be like Orochimaru's curse seal, will it? Naruto scoffed, hell number. Think of this as more of a filter. It'll let your body continue to bring in nature chakra, but it'll filter out the negative emotions you randomly get. You'll still have all of your original abilities, but now more control. I never thought that would be possible. That's what dealing with Orochimaru will get you. I really need to track that asshole down soon. Of course, that is if you want this. Jugo nodded slowly. If I can have control of my rage, then yes, I will accept this gift. Good enough for me. Working slowly but with focus, Naruto wrote all along Jugo's back. The minutes ticked by, mental reports from his clones letting him know after a while that the base was soon completely emptied out. After half an hour he was done and placing a hand over Jugo's back. Might want to grit your teeth, buddy. Why? Jugo didn't get a chance to reply completely, pain arcing up and down his spine for half a minute before subsiding. Taking deep and labored breath, he watched Naruto seal away most of his supplies except for a cream, which the other boy rubbed into his back. What's this? Healing cream, it'll ease the pain. Naruto worked the cream into Jugo's shoulder before sealing it away and standing. You're all done. Jugo himself gave it a minute, waiting for his body to do its natural thing. He found though that unless he reached for it, the rage he sometimes felt was just not there. This boy, no, leader had done exactly what he had promised. That was more than Orochimaru had ever done. What did you say your goal was again? In simple terms, I'm rebuilding my clan and building a new home for civilians and ninja that are tired of the current ninja system. I want peace, for everyone. Think you'd be interested in that? Jugo nodded without hesitation. Willing to follow this man who had given him the peace he had craved, absolutely. Naruto grinned and held out a hand, pulling the other boy to his feet. Good. Now I can take you to either the north to a sleepy country that's big on advancing civilian technology. Or I can take you south to an island nation that's rebuilding its home nation. Both are peaceful, but the south will have more work. Jugo shook his head and took a moment to kneel, bowing his head to Naruto. Rather, I wish to stay by your side as your shield. I will fight for you and aid you in your quest. Ah, that wasn't an option. Consider it a request from someone you saved. Naruto thought about that one. He had been surrounded by nothing but women for the last month or so. Having a guy around to make friends with could be good. You know what, sure. Just realize, I'm going to be fighting and waging all kinds of havoc all over the elemental nations. Jugo stood and nodded, by your will, it shall be done. Somehow I get the feeling I'm going to regret this. I need a friend, not a blind follower. I will do my best to become your friend. In the end, however, I am your shield, what's to regret? Naruto sighed as he made a clone and tossed it a version 1. Yup, can already feel the regret seeping in. Come on, let's move it before I blow this place to hell. How will you manage that? Naruto grinned widely over his shoulder, by the greatest technique ever. Explosion-based seals. Dashing away while Jugo followed him, their first order of business was finding Jugo some clothes. Not even a full day later, Naruto, joined by Jugo, having flashed and made it to Rice Country, were dashing along the trees. Upon arriving, Naruto had made hundreds of hardened clones to scout and make more clones to scout further if they found hardened hideouts or targets. But his first stop was the Fuma clan. While he hadn't given them a seal, he had left Kotohime with a clone to mark their location. He could have done without the clone hiding in her cleavage, but the past was the past. Jugo was confused but followed after Naruto regardless. Dressed in orange and blue, the taller teen had adopted the Uzumaki swirl on the back of his large orange shirt given to him by Naruto. The shorter man seemed to know where he was going at least, so that was a plus. As they continued on, Naruto unsealed one of the Uzumaki masks, the onepunchman. Depicting a laughing woman, face pale, he slipped it on and attached it with chakra before the mask took over and sealed itself to him. Jugo, however, was curious about this. Why would Naruto need a disguise? What use is the mask? Naruto turned to look at Jugo as they hopped between trees. For now, just consider this a tool I can use to determine the truth, that's all. Yes, sir. Jugo made a note that Naruto apparently had many powerful tools at his disposal. Naruto led him through the trees and over several roads until they came upon an open space that may have once been a rice farm long ago. Dropping to the ground to show he wasn't a threat, he was met with several ninja with headbands and heavily armed. Naruto himself held up his hands as a show of peace. I'm here for Hanzaki. My name is Naruto. Sasame, Kotohime, or Kajiro will know me. One of the men grumbled but motioned for one of the younger members to head off to the clan home. It took a few minutes for them to return, no one saying anything while they waited, though Jugo did eventually lean forward. Say the word, sir, I can flatten all of them for impeding you. Yeah, not necessary, but thanks for offering. Naruto sighed, this was not what he was looking for. Thankfully, however, the clan member returns with a smiling Kotohime in tow. You've returned, Naruto. I'm so glad to see you. Oh, who's this? The mask was new, but she'd recognize that build and frame anywhere. Plus that special shade of blonde hair. Naruto motioned to Jugo, consider him a retainer. How have you been, Kotohime? This was the one his clones kept flirting with, right? He could see why. Damn teenage hormones. Kotohime, however, smiled brightly and bounced, in several ways, in place. You remembered me. Wonderful. You both will be welcome here. Sasame and Hanzaki are waiting just ahead. Please follow me. Turning and leading the way at a sedate pace, Naruto and Jugo fell in step with her. Turning back to the young men, Kotohime smiled. What do you think, Lord Naruto? Am I still just as appealing as before or more so? One promised after all. Kotohime was dressed in black shorts and a black tube top. An orange vest covered her top while her hime-cut hair had not changed as it went with her preferred combat style. Naruto coughed into a hand, wishing his clones weren't so on the nose. But after his conversation with the girls, he was willing to be more open with himself at least. You're just as beautiful as before, Kotohime. Big statement you're making there with my colors. The mask was telling him she was in fact being upfront and honest with him, so that was a plus. Kotohime nodded with a giggle. I wish to state my claim fast and early. I will be your woman, my lord. Only you have bested me in battle so decisively. Looking him in the eye, she grinned. Little Sasame has her own crush to work through, please be prepared. Naruto mumbled, I'm here to work, not play. The point of this trip was to root out bandits and gangs. Not flirt. Jugo was mumbling as well. Note, Lord Naruto has women he has claimed all over the nations, be wary. That is a good retainer. Kotohime could appreciate a friend or comrade who knew the pecking order. Naruto sighed, why do I even bother with any of it? Reaching a home with a sign proclaiming Fuma Lane above it, Naruto was met with Sasame and a taller gruff-looking back in muted colors and a red cloth bandana. This must be Hanzaki. So you must be Naruto. Sasame and the others told me much about you. Voice just as gruff as his face suggested, Naruto walked forward to shake his hand. Jugo stayed behind while Kotohime moved off to the side to watch the proceedings. What brings you to our neck of the woods? Naruto decides getting right to the issue would be best. So I'm here on a mission request from the new Rice Daimyo. Since I'm going to be operating in your neck of the woods, I figured I should let you know what's up. I'm going to be exterminating bandits and gangs with extreme prejudice. I'd suggest pulling back any and all of your ninja for the next few days. Naruto watches the assembled members before him and several trying to watch from windows and the doorways are all muttering with surprised looks. Good. After I'm done, the Spring Daimyo will be contacting the Rice Daimyo for economic trade unions. There will also be some talks with you, the Fuma clan, for peace as well. I'd like you to be open to them as well as making peace with any ninja clan remaining in Rice once I'm finished. Hanzaki shrugged. Why not just eliminate all of the other ninja clans? Naruto frowned. That'd be genocide. A lot of these clans have done nothing wrong. Yours hasn't really, right? You've all just been caught in shitty situations. I'd like allies who are willing to work towards a peace based on understanding each other. But you're willing to kill bandits and gangs? Seems hypocritical. Naruto, however, shakes his head. Most of the bandits and gangs on the road have done a lot worse. Murder, rape, pillaging innocent villages. Nah, I want nothing to do with them, and everyone else is better off without those types left alive. They gave up the chance for redemption and now they're just part of the problem. Naruto, however, did pause to look directly at Hanzaki. Unless you're saying you and your clan do the same. The mask was whispering that wasn't the case, but it was still good to hear it straight from the source. This mask really did come in handy. It wasn't killing intent that Hanzaki felt, but the pressure of that gaze made him wish he could be anywhere else in that moment. No, we are a ninja clan and have taken contracts for hire, but we've never acted needlessly. Hanzaki thought about everything Naruto had said so far. This kid seemed willing to back up his talk with action if the stories the returned clan members were anything to go off of. I think you have both guts and honor, but I need more. If you're going to clean up this country, I want our clan along for the ride to witness it. Take Sasam and Kotohime with you. They'll see for themselves your actions and report back honestly. Even though Kotohime had been a little off since her return, he at least trusted Sasam to be impartial. Naruto nodded at that. That's fine, I can watch after them and get things done at the same time. Turning to the pair who were now standing together, do you need to get ready or can we leave now? Kotohime raised a hand while smiling brightly. I'm ready to go now, Lord Naruto. What she was ready to do, however, was left unsaid. That was for later, under the cover of night. Sasam sighed and nodded as well. I have all of our supplies sealed away, we're good to go. She could already tell she would need to keep Kotohime in check. It was looking to be a long few weeks. Naruto nodded and saluted to Hanzaki as he turned away. Welp, we're gonna get to it then. See you in a week. Protect my clan members. Any harm comes to them, and as a man, you better take responsibility. Hanzaki's gaze flicked to Kotohime, then back to Naruto. Any harm? Got it? Yes, I got it, old man. Chuckling, the newly formed group began to race away back towards the trees and up into the tree cover. He's a bit of a worrywart, isn't he? Sasam smiled softly as they moved from tree to tree. He's been like that since we returned. I think he's both happy the clan is coming together and worried things could go wrong again. Orange hair floating behind her, the smaller girl was happy to have some freedom to do something after the last few days of being stuck at home. Naruto nodded. Welp, things should be pretty easy. I'm already mapping out targets and have our first one picked out. Should be there shortly actually. Kotohime pulled up next to him. Who's that? Some bandits who have holed up in a cave under the mountain nearby. Pretty standard really. Sasam nodded and gained his attention while Jugo trailed behind them. What's our plan? Naruto shrugged. I spam copious amounts of clones and lay waste to anyone standing in my way, and you get to relax and watch. Maybe point me in different directions if your local information seems better than mine. Sasam did her best not to pout. This was about making their home better, not pride, even if it was boring. Boo. She tried. Kotohime, however, was on cloud 9, back together and already showing just how manly he was. Oh yes, she chose her bow well. I'm okay with this plan, gives us more time together. Curiosity was finally getting the best of her. What's with the mask? She hadn't pegged Naruto as someone into drama. Naruto's grin was hidden, but the playful tone carried over. Oh, just wait, it's a fun little tool is all. Depending on how things went, he might explain it to the pair. This was meant to be a Uzumaki secret after all. Jugo just sighed as his leader was apparently both very skilled and completely capable of capturing women while on mission. He would take notes and hopefully learn from these experiences. Following along, they came upon what looked like an entrance to a mine tucked away at the base of a moderate hill. Naruto had jumped down to face the entrance about a dozen meters away while his 3 followers landed behind him. Alright, let's see what we got. Willing another 100 clones in existence, Naruto watched as they all began to run inside with little noise. Looking back, Naruto eyed Jugo. Watch over the girls, I've got to focus for a bit. Yes sir. Scanning the tree line and feeling out, Jugo began to walk around the area just following nature's flow. Naruto himself closed his eyes and clasped his arms behind his back. It was always easier to direct his clones with his eyes closed and shutting things out. He was beginning to notice lately that if he focused hard, it was almost like he could see through the clone's eyes. Don't know what part of the shadow clone technique would allow for that, but he would figure it out. Sasam watched interested as Jugo walked a bit away from him, random birds coming to rest on his outstretched arms and hands. That was a first. Jugo seemed very much at ease, however, and at least if the forest animals were here, that had to mean the area was safe. Kotohime was watching Naruto and so had a decent view as clones started dragging men out of the mine's entrance. Raising her eyebrows, she noted that many were dirty and their clothes were in tatters. Usually most of the local bandits were displaced farmers or villagers down on their luck. She wasn't getting that vibe from the men Naruto's clones were dragging out hog-tied. Once there were 10 men dropped before them, Naruto sighed and seemed to shake himself. Oh, you lot of fucked. Naruto's voice was guttural as he moved to stand before the fearful men. One of his clones had dispelled, letting him know there were cages full of people inside. Mostly women and children, but there were some men as well, not enough though. Originally I was going to give each of you orders to run and tell everyone you know that the maelstrom is here to clean house. Seeing some of what you lot do though. Slavers. There weren't just bandits, there were a network of slavers here. There was no need to hold back. I think only one of you gets to go free now. One of them was brave, making it to his knees to plead his case. Please my lord, let me carry your message. I know where the various clans are. That he would be running as fast and as far as his legs could carry him away from all this died in his throat. It didn't matter however. He never saw the kunai that lodged in his forehead. Naruto frowned, chakra flaring and pressing down on the assembled men before him. Anyone else want to speak out of turn ? Idly he realized that he still had a lot of rage to work through. Things had been good recently in his personal life, but maybe he should make a personal visit to Konoha soon. Turning his gaze across all of the men, he eventually settled on one man who legitimately was pressed into this business against his will. He was still shit, but less shit. You. I'm going to mark you. A clone pressed a seal onto his back and then untied him. Redeem yourself. Carry my message to everyone you can find. Do so and you'll go free to repent your ways. Try to run for it and I'll blow you to bits. Got it ? The seal faded away through his clothes, attaching directly to his skin and adhering tightly. Nothing short of another seal master would be removing it. Yes my lord. Good. Scram. The man made a hasty retreat while all the others yelled and began pleading their own cases. Naruto however mentally noted that the cave was now empty of prisoners. Many had no ties to Rice and had wished to go to a zoo. A few still had family here and clones had taken them as far as they could. Naruto turned back to the Fuma girls. Do either of you know if this cave is still used for anything ? Sasam thought it over. No, don't think so. Kotohime shook her head. Haven't heard anything about it. Naruto nodded and turned to his clones. Take em back into an empty chamber, lock em in. Yes sir. Over the gathered men's protests, the clones all dragged or carried them back inside. Naruto however was already turning away, pausing only slightly at the sight of Jugo covered in forest animals. That's new. Jugo looked up and noticed the attention he was getting. Time to go my lord ? Yup. There's a port town that's apparently been subjugated by some thugs. Wanna make it there by tomorrow. Making a motion with a hand for everyone to follow him, they took to the trees once more. Behind them an explosion rang out and dust spewed from the mine entrance. Kotohime came up besides Naruto then. You are in control my lord. Perhaps you could give me a private demonstration later ? Hey, you do remember other people are with us ? His clones had gotten him in trouble, again. They could learn a thing or two. Kotohime would not be denied. Coming to the end of available tree cover, the group of 4 dropped to the ground and adopted a more lax pace for the road. For Naruto, he figured it would be better from here to not scare the locals. Plus, roadside bandits were a thing that needed to be cleaned up. This clones would only cover so much roadway. They had already disposed of a few themselves though. Sasum walked along next to Jugo, while Kotohime tried her best to flirt and draw Naruto's attention. Sasum giggled and turned her attention to the taller man next to her. How long have you been with Naruto? You weren't with him the last time he was in Rice. Jugo shook his head as he looked down on the orange-haired girl. Not long. Lord Naruto actually saved me just recently. I've decided to follow him and see out his vision. He had a second chance at life because of Naruto. He would die for the man if needed. Jugo believed Naruto had the power to change the world. Sasum smiled. He seems to really put his all into everything he does. He gave us a second chance as well. Our clan had splintered and some had been working with Orochimaru. But he saved us and now he's going to help clean up our country. We'll be hard-pressed to repay that debt. Both shared a smile as their feelings seemed to mirror one another. They both respected Naruto greatly and were willing to follow him in his quest. Turning from one another to watch Naruto himself, they paused as a group of men came out onto the road from a rundown storage shack. All of them either chuckling or holding up weapons. They gave the group an ultimatum. Leave the girls and scram brats, or we'll bleed you out here. Naruto sighed. Sure, he wanted to find bandits, but did they really need to be so cliché? Look guys, it's a nice day out. Why don't you go find some honest work and leave us alone? Or look boys, a taller lanky man strode forward with his hands on his hips. The girly boy think he's tough. Listen boy, we'll be taking the women. For speaking up, we're gonna beat ya and make ya watch us have a taste of them. Got it? Naruto however just sighed and created clones. You're just so gross. The man in front of him being left alone, the other clones raced ahead, each grabbing a man before attaching an explosive note and then hurling them over the rice fields with all their strength. Like grotesque human fireworks, the men were sent screaming before they exploded and rained down pink mist. Turning back to the leader himself, the man had dropped to his ass and was crab walking away from Naruto. Ninja. Oh, of course they had tried to jump some ninja. Of all the rotten luck. Naruto added some chakra to his eyes for added effect, making them shine as he looked down on the coward. Run away. Run and tell everyone the maelstrom is coming. Seeing the man nod quickly and run off, the boy removed his mask and sealed it away in his jacket. The sleeves were started to get a little short. Or was he getting taller? Kotohime was grinning wide, quick and efficient. Though you let one go again. Why? They all started walking again. It gets the message out. Hopefully some of these groups will leave and make a run for it, or some will try to band together to fight me. That's good for me as it means I won't have to go all over the country to find them. If it saved him any time at all, he was going to appreciate it. He wanted to get back to Spring and the girls. Walking along, Kotohime indulged her curiosity some more. Where are you from, Lord Naruto? Chuckling, Naruto pointed lashingly at the trees. I'm originally from the Leaf Village. But I've since left them behind. The village council screwed me over pretty good and someone apparently tried to kill me. So me and some of my friends left to do our own thing for a while. You were from the Leaf? Kotohime thought about that for a while in silence. Her sister had been lost in the Leaf during the invasion. At first she had hated the Leaf because she thought they were responsible. It took a while to learn the truth and realize Orochimaru had used her as a sacrifice. Yet she still had followed the gifted-tongued man, believing his words and promises. Maybe if they had really seen the snake bastard for who he really was, Kin would still be alive today. Naruto however wasn't privy to those thoughts, just answering her question instead. Yeah. Grew up there. Had to leave behind some really good friends. I'm hoping I can convince them to come with me later. Thought he would love to get the Ichirakus to defect for sure. Iruka would be a hard sell and Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi would probably be all but impossible. He would try though. He'd show them Azu and Spring. Let them see just what he was doing. Hopefully Sasuke could forgive him for leaving. Kotohime speaks up for a bit. You know, I used to hate the Leaf. Seeing Naruto turn to face her, she nodded to him. My sister, kin, died during the invasion. I had, though it had been the work of your ninja. But Orochimaru admitted that she had sacrificed herself for him and one of his techniques. It still took me a while to get over my hatred of them. But you at least, I hold no grudge towards. We all have a second chance because of you and I am grateful for it. Naruto appreciates the slightly older girl being honest with him. For what it's worth, I think it's perfectly okay to hate the leaf, but I think I get what you mean. He hadn't grown up with a sibling, so he couldn't really relate. Losing someone precious, however, that thought had him in knots. Sasam chimed in, I wonder, maybe if we had met without Orochimaru or the leaf being so shitty, do you think we'd still be able to be close like this ? Naruto shrugs, I think, if we had met, we probably would have been. He probably wouldn't have met them if he hadn't left the leaf, however. Doubtful any mission they took would have planted them in the middle of a sound base. Looking up, Naruto notes the sun making its way lower into the sky. Come on, I wanna hit that wooded area up ahead soon and turn in for the night. We should reach the port town by tomorrow midday. Kotohime saluted with a smile, lead the way Lord Naruto. I'll be happy to help you relax later. Sasam just sighed as their pace picked up just a bit, this is going to be a long mission. Jugo agreed with her, though for different reasons, most likely. It was nice to be able to be around normal people and not have to worry about flying into a rage. He would cherish each and every moment from here on. All thanks to his lord. B. The next day found the group walking into what looked like a busy port town by the sea. None of them could ignore the smells, however. Like something rotten was hovering over the place. Naruto decided to head off behind a building and, unnoticed by the civilians, began making clones and transforming them into random-looking people. Their orders for the day were to hunt down the gang running this town. Task complete, he rejoined the group and they made their way through town towards the port itself. Mask firmly on, Naruto figured there was always something going on around a port. Sasam and Kotohime had frowns on their faces as they walked along. The people they could see looked beaten, ragged. Someone was putting the squeeze to the townsfolk and it was obviously taking its toll. What few children they saw all looked underweight, more than a few barely had the energy to just sit and watch the group pass them by. Kotohime frowned, so distracted by bringing our clan back to power that we ignored this in our own home. Sasam nodded, even if we wanted to we just didn't have enough people. It's been a pain just bringing the clan back together. Even to her, however, it felt like an excuse. Simple gangs and bandits weren't problems for ninja. Any of them could have started helping. Naruto, however, has his hands in his pockets as he walked, doesn't matter now. I'm here to do just that. We're going to clean up every village and town we find and wipe the slate clean, let the people start over. Mask covering his face and preventing the others from seeing his own disgusted face, they were all stopped by a pair of goons who looked like they hadn't bathed in a month. All looky at the tourists, Jin, don't they look just so out of place ? This one was balding with wispy hair clinging to a scab-filled scalp. Most notably, he had all of his teeth, though they were rotten. Sure do, Rin, but the women are mighty fine looking. Thinking we can have some fun, ya ? Jin, however, had long shaggy hair down to his back, though his burly frame produced an odor that had Naruto wincing. This one would have to go. Kotohime has a bored look on her face. Do all of the men around here only think with their peckers ? Naruto, however, has decided he needs to make an example out of one of them, and apparently the overweight Jin was the one to go. A Rasengan appeared in his hand. Listen, I only need one of you. Run back to your leaders and let them know I'm coming for them. Or, the little kiddie thinks he scares us with the light show. We ain't afraid of ya boy. Rin pulled a rusty knife from a pocket and brandished it with a grin. Naruto shrugged and let the Rasengan fly, a thin chakra thread holding it together as it connected with Jin and sent him flying away down the street. Body crashing into the dirt eventually, Jin's internal organs couldn't hold up against the grinding might of the attack. He was dead even before his body came to rest. Rin looked back towards his brother slowly, not believing what he just saw. It was a trick, it had to be a trick. How could this kid do this to his brother ? Turning back with fear in his eyes, he nearly wet himself at the shining eyes behind the mask. Wanna dance, Mr. ? Rin turned and fled back towards the docks at full speed. The boss would want to hear about this. Kotohime giggled, was that really necessary ? Naruto shook his head, No, but I consider rapist pretty much at the bottom of life. It's like stepping on an ant. The group walking forward, Naruto began to circulate chakra through his body. Gotta remember to clean up after myself. Reaching down to pick up the dead man, Naruto spun once before throwing Jin towards the ocean. Holding a hand to cover his eyes from the sun, he pumped his fist at the splash in the distance. Didn't hit anyone innocent. I call that a good job. Memories pouring in, Naruto nodded. Yup, major gang in a warehouse at the dock. Jugo stepped forward. Would you like me to take care of this, my lord? Naruto almost said no he would, but then paused. One of the things he would need to learn was to let others do the work as well. Yes, he could do everything, but he didn't need to do everything. And these were just basic thugs. The warehouse they're holed up in is full of supplies. Think you can take 'em out without destroying anything? Since the seal you've placed on me, yes, I believe I can do that. He felt like he had much better control of his emotions. He should have no problems in battle. Okay, when we get there you can have at them. I want no one spared. It will be done. Jugo fell into step behind Naruto as the group continued on toward the docks. As they walk, Naruto is hit with memories from several clones. Some knocking around thugs and kids who think they're tough. A few tearing apart some murderers mid-act. A few more helping children and making themselves useful. Almost all of them, when asked, tell the people to thank Kazushio or the blonde maelstrom himself. As they came upon the docks and walked past several ships in poor repair and even less functional fishing boats, they all stopped before a warehouse that was closed up with several guards out front. Naruto pointed ahead. Remember, no damage to the dock or the supplies. And bring me the leader himself. Jugo nods and rushes off, body changing as his blood ability kicked in. Arms forming into scythes, he was the incarnate of death as he dispatched first the guards and then the doors leading to the warehouse. Behind them and unnoticed by Naruto, a crowd was beginning to form. Jugo himself found it easy to control his usual battle rage and lust for destruction. More so that these were just normal people, not ninja. This was no battle. It was slaughter. It was moments before he was able to pick out and isolate the gaudiest dressed thug in the room, injuring his knee and preventing him from running away. From there the 24 men who all were gathered arguing over what to do were set upon by Jugo. Arm scythes flying, it was less than a minute before the warehouse was empty. As his lord requested, no damage to any of the supplies was made. The rows and rows of containers and wood boxes unscathed. Though he wasn't sure if the doors would count as dock damage. He would accept punishment if they were. Grabbing the blubbering leader in his hand, he dragged the rat along with him. Naruto and the others watched as Jugo returned dragging a brown-haired man in what looked like a cheap business suit and multiple rings on his fingers. Frowning as the man was dropped at his feet, Naruto only had one question. What was the point of all of this? Why what the hell do you mean brat? Jugo's foot crashed down onto his injured knee, forcing a scream from him. Do well to address my lord with respect. Naruto held up a hand, continuing to look down on the thug. I don't like repeating myself to trash. What was the point of all of this? The point? What's the point of anything? We had power, so we took what we wanted. That's it, kid. This world is kill or be kill. Be the shepherd or be the lamb. I refuse to be a lamb. Naruto sighed. A shepherd is meant to guide his flock. To help it grow. You seem to have missed that step. Turning away, Naruto prepared to leave and dropped an exploding note that sealed itself to the man's back, his mask telling him just what kind of human garbage this man was. Jugo, take out the trash. Bowing, Jugo's muscles began to expand. As you wish. Wait. I can get you things. Money, women, anything. Jugo tossed him over the bay much as Naruto had done with the other corpse. The explosion that followed seeded the water with meat and blood. Naruto, however, was turning to the assembled people. Listen to me. I do not expect any of you to know who I am. Some call me the blonde maelstrom. I hail from a nation hidden in whirlpools. My one goal is to save and unite all of the people, much like myself, much like all of you. The downtrodden, the beaten, the used. I want there to be true peace, where we all can wake up to a new day without worry that some new war or some new power comes to take what we have away. That is my dream, and here today, I hope you can see that and throw your support towards that. Rebuild your home, take control, and together with your friends and allies help seize a real future for yourselves. There were mutters and slowly building support as several people began to build up a chant. Support for the blonde was strong with the people who had seen those claiming to be from a zoo helping out around town. And soon, there was a unified chant that rose above the noise of the dock works. Maelstrom, Maelstrom, Maelstrom. Naruto turned back to his companions, eyes shining. While they couldn't see his face, they all felt like he was smiling. Time to move on. We have more work to do. Turning back to the crowd, he raised a fist and they all slowly quieted. I cannot stay, but look to the Fuma clan for help and guidance. They will be my eyes and ears while I'm gone. Another cheer and then Naruto was up and away over the rooftops, the group following behind not a moment later. Sasum pulled up beside him while Kotohime had hearts in her eyes. That's a lot to promise on behalf of another clan. Naruto shrugged. You say you want to help your country and your people, so would you not help them if they asked ? That's. Sasum admitted that yes they would, but Hanzaki might take offense over not being asked about it first. Kotohime had another thought entirely. Men of strength do not ask for permission. They do. Lord Naruto is setting an example that people can emulate and follow. That is the mark of a leader. In her mind it validated what she had felt about him. This was a man of character and action. He was not just nice. He knew what he wanted and knew what it took to get it. Naruto grinned and pulled ahead. One more stop and then we're done. My clones either took care of other smaller guys or didn't find anything else. Jugo nodded. We shall rid the earth of your enemies, my lord. Naruto chucked. Trust me, if we tried that it'd be a very empty world. Sometimes just mutual understanding enough. Here he paused as he removed his mask and sealed it away. Even if that understanding is that I will erase them from existence. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.